Welcome back to English Speaking Corner, your quiet space for building real speaking confidence.
Today, we are going to fix the single scariest moment in any conversation, the silence, when your mind goes completely blank.
Imagine you are on a video call at work. A colleague looks at you and asks, "What is your take on the strategy?" The camera is on you. You know the answer in your head, but the English words are stuck. The silence stretches on, and you feel everyone watching you.
I used to panic in that exact moment. I would just say, I don't know, or pretend my internet was bad to escape the pressure, which made me look much less capable than I really was.
By the end of this episode, you will have 4 professional phrases that buy you exactly 5 seconds of thinking time, so you never have to freeze or feel embarrassed again.
This happens to everyone, even advanced speakers. We call it translation lag. It is that gap between hearing a question and finding the words to answer it.
Exactly. The problem is not your vocabulary. The problem is the pressure. When you feel pressure, your brain freezes. You feel like you must answer instantly, like a computer. But you are not a computer. You are a human being.
When we feel that pressure, we usually make a noise to fill the silence. We say, or We look down at the floor. We look nervous.
And that is what we want to change today. The goal is not to answer instantly. The goal is to fill that silence with something that sounds confident. We want to replace the nervous sound of with a professional phrase.
We call these active thinking phrases. They tell the listener that you are thinking, not panicking. They buy you time.
Think of it like a buffer. When you stream a video, sometimes it needs a few seconds to load. These phrases are your buffer. They keep the connection alive while your brain loads the English words.
Let's start with the first technique. This is perfect for when someone asks you a question that is a little bit difficult or unexpected.
We call this the validation buffer.
The validation buffer is simple. You validate or compliment the question before you answer it.
Instead of sitting in silence or saying you smile and say, "That is a really interesting point."
Or you can say, "That is a great question."
Let's analyze why this works. First, it makes the other person feel good. Everyone likes to hear that their question is interesting.
Exactly. It changes the energy. But more importantly for you, it takes about 2 or 3 seconds to say, "That is a really interesting point."
Those 3 seconds are gold. While your mouth is saying the phrase automatically, your brain is searching for the answer. You are buying yourself time without the other person realizing it.
It makes you look thoughtful, not confused.
Let's try a simulation. I will ask Mark a difficult question. Listen to how he uses the buffer. Mark, what do you think we should do about the marketing budget next quarter?
That is a really interesting point. I think we need to focus on social media.
Did you hear that? The pause felt natural. It didn't feel like he was stuck. It felt like he was considering my question carefully.
Now, imagine if I didn't use the phrase. Ask me again.
Mark, what do you think we should do about the marketing budget?
I think social media.
That felt painful. The silence was awkward. The made you sound unsure.
But the answer was the same. The only difference was the buffer.
I want you to practice this with us. I am going to ask you a question. I want you to wait and then say, "That is a really interesting point," and then give a simple answer.
The question is, what is your favorite movie and why?
Ready? Listen to the question, then use the buffer phrase. What is your favorite movie?
Did you say it? That is a really interesting point.
Even for a simple question, it gives you a moment to breathe. It lowers your heart rate.
Let's try another variation. Sometimes the question isn't interesting, it is just difficult. In that case, you can say, "Let me see."
Let me see. This is very natural. Native speakers use this all the time. It's short, but if you say it slowly, it buys you 2 seconds.
Notice the intonation. You don't say it quickly like, "Let me see." You stretch it out. Let me see.
You look slightly up or to the side. You look like you are searching your mental files.
Let's practice that one. I will ask you a question. You say, "Let me see," and then give an answer.
The question is, what are your plans for next year?
Go ahead. Speak out loud.
Good. Let me see. It sounds calm. It sounds like you are in control.
The second technique is a bit more formal. This is the honest pause.
The honest pause is for professional situations. Maybe you are in a meeting with your boss or a client. You don't want to just say, "Let me see." You want to sound very professional.
In this situation, you narrate exactly what you are doing. You tell them you are thinking.
The phrase is, "Let me just gather my thoughts for a second."
That is a powerful phrase. Let me just gather my thoughts for a second.
Think about what that signals to the listener. It says, I have so many thoughts in my head, I need to organize them.
Yes, it implies that you are intelligent and prepared. It is the opposite of I don't know. I don't know means your head is empty. Let me gather my thoughts means your head is full.
It turns the silence into a sign of strength.
I had a manager once who did this all the time. He was a native English speaker. If I asked him a tough question, he would lean back in his chair, look at the ceiling, and say, "Let me just gather my thoughts on that."
And how did you feel when he did that?
I waited. I respected him. I thought he was about to say something brilliant. I never thought he was stupid for waiting.
That is the secret. We are often afraid of silence because we think people will judge us. But if you frame the silence correctly, people will respect you.
Let's break down the pronunciation. Let me just
Let me just
gather my thoughts
gather my thoughts
for a second.
for a second.
Now put it all together. Let me just gather my thoughts for a second.
And remember the speed. Do not rush it. If you say it fast, you sound panicked. If you say it slow, you sound confident.
Let me just gather my thoughts for a second.
I want you to try this in a simulation. I am your boss. We are in a Zoom meeting. I am going to ask you for your opinion on a new project.
You are going to use the phrase, "Let me just gather my thoughts for a second." Then you can just give a simple yes or no answer for now. The focus is on the phrase.
Here is the scenario. So, do you think this new timeline is realistic for the team?
Pause. Did you try it? Did you feel the difference?
Instead of panicking because you didn't have the answer immediately, you bought yourself 5 whole seconds.
In those 5 seconds, your brain has time to translate, "Yes, I think so," or "No, it is too short."
You can also use a variation of this. Give me a moment to think about the best way to explain this.
Oh, I love that one. Give me a moment to think about the best way to explain this.
This is perfect for intermediate learners. Sometimes you know the answer, but you are worried about your grammar. You are worried you will make a mistake.
By using this phrase, you are telling the listener, "I want to be clear, so I am taking my time."
It removes the pressure to be perfect immediately. It buys you a license to speak slowly.
Let's practice that variation. Give me a moment to think about the best way to explain this.
It is a bit longer. Let's try it in 2 parts. Give me a moment
Give me a moment
to think about the best way to explain this.
to think about the best way to explain this.
Now, imagine you are explaining a complex cultural tradition from your country to a foreign friend. They ask, why do you celebrate that holiday?
It is a complex answer. You need time. So you say,
Give me a moment to think about the best way to explain this.
"Excellent. These phrases are tools. They are like a hammer or a screwdriver. You keep them in your pocket and you pull them out when you need to fix a silence."
If you are enjoying this calm approach to fluency, please consider subscribing to English Speaking Corner. We create these episodes to give you a quiet place to practice without stress. When you subscribe, it helps us keep making these lessons for you.
And if you hit the notification bell, you will get a gentle reminder whenever a new practice session is ready.
Let's move on to the third technique. This one is a little different. This is for when you have already started speaking, but you get stuck.
This is the rewind technique.
We've all been there. You start a sentence, you say, I think that the project is, if we go to the, and you realize you are lost.
You trapped yourself in a difficult grammar structure. You don't know how to finish the sentence.
Panic sets in. You start sweating. You usually just stop talking or you mumble and trail off.
The rewind technique gives you a delete button. It allows you to stop, go back, and start the sentence again with simpler words.
The phrase is, actually, let me rephrase that.
Actually, let me rephrase that.
This is magic. It tells the listener, ignore the last 5 seconds, I am going to say it better now.
And the best part is, native speakers do this constantly. We get lost in our own sentences too.
When you use this phrase, you take control. You stop the bad sentence before it crashes.
Imagine you are trying to tell a story about your weekend. You start saying, "We went to the beach, but it was raining and the car had a," and you get stuck. You don't know the word for flat tire.
Instead of freezing, you stop. You take a breath. You say, actually, let me rephrase that.
Then you start again with a simpler sentence. "We had a problem with the car."
You see? You saved the conversation. You didn't need the complex vocabulary. You just needed a way to restart.
Let's practice the pronunciation. Actually, let me rephrase that.
Rephrase means to say again using different words. Phrase again, rephrase.
Actually, let me rephrase that.
Try to sound confident when you say it. Don't whisper it. Say it clearly. You are the director of this conversation. You are shouting, cut. Take two.
I love that image. You are the director. You have the power to restart the scene.
Let's do a simulation. I want you to pretend you are answering a question and you get stuck. I want you to start speaking nonsense or just say blah, 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 and then interrupt yourself with the phrase.
For example, well, I think the plan is blah, blah. Actually, let me rephrase that. The plan is good.
Now you try. Pretend you are stuck, then use the phrase.
It is low stakes. If you mess up, it doesn't matter. But if you do it right, you will feel a tiny spark of victory.
And that spark is what builds confidence. Confidence isn't magic. It is just a stack of small victories.
Let's do one final review of the phrases before we go. I will say the situation, you say the phrase out loud.
Situation 1. Your boss asks a hard question in a meeting. You need to sound smart, but you need time.
Let me just gather my thoughts for a second.
Situation 2. A friend asks you a fun but unexpected question. You want to be friendly, but you need time.
That is a really interesting point.
Situation 3. You are telling a story and you get completely lost in a bad sentence. You need to restart.
Actually, let me rephrase that.
Perfect. You have the tools. Now you just need to carry them with you.
Remember, silence is not your enemy. Silence is just a space. You get to decide how to fill it.
You can fill it with panic, or you can fill it with professional polish. The choice is yours.
Thank you for practicing with us today. It takes courage to work on your speaking, and you are doing great.
We will see you in the next episode. Until then, keep talking and take your time.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.